Hey. I was thinking, so I wanted to come on here and share my thoughts with you. Last week, I saw a lot of people traveling to Los Angeles. They were going to the Cleveland Browns versus the LA Rams game. And I tell you, they were having a ball. They were partying, they were drinking and dancing and cheering and just having an overall good time with great weather. And I started thinking to myself, like, why didn't I go? Why am I still here in Cleveland? I love traveling. I love traveling. And it made me think about how we are in December and I have yet to make it somewhere internationally this year. Many years ago, I had pledged that every year I would get my passport stamped. I would go somewhere so that I could experience something different and get my passport stamped. And I have not this year. Now I've had some travels, just none internationally. And so I started thinking, like, where did this love for traveling come from? I remember as a kid, I would go down to Alabama with my family, with my grandmother and my grandfather. I would go to Virginia with my dad. I remember taking my cousin to college when he went to Fisk University in Nashville. We would go to Toronto, up to Niagara Falls in Canada. We traveled. But it wasn't until I was in high school when I represented the US in a peace run over in the USSR. So that lets you know how long ago that was because Russia wasn't even Russia at the time. But it wasn't until that experience that I think I fell in love with traveling. I missed America for sure when I was over there. But I had the opportunity. We went to East Germany. So this was when there was still an East and West Germany. You know, the wall hadn't come down. And as I said, we were in the USSR, but there were people from 22 countries who had come together. And most of the countries were communist countries. And we come together for one cause. But the beauty in all of that is that I learned so much about different cultures. I remember, we couldn't really communicate as we would like because we all spoke different languages. Now, more people knew English than, of course, me knowing anything else. So I remember we sung Happy Birthday when I was in East Germany with somebody. And the other thing about that party where we were singing Happy Birthday is that the men would walk around in their underwear. Like they did not care. Europeans are different when it comes to being naked. And I was thinking like, oh my gosh, like this, I'm learning, right? But traveling is like going to school. And I love learning. If I could be in school my whole life, I would. I just need somebody to pay for it. But I use my experience with traveling, really with life, because life is earth school, right? But I use my experience with traveling to learn what I can about different culture, about different people. It's a beautiful thing, a beautiful thing. And I get that everyone can't travel, whether they don't have the resources, the ability, or whatever the reason is, they may not be able to travel. But that's the beauty of books, because books allows you to go wherever it is that you want to go. The mind doesn't recognize the difference between what's real and what's imagined. So if you imagine yourself being somewhere, you are there. I remember with the pandemic and being on Zoom with people doing tours in different countries. I was on a sheep farm at one point, and I teleported myself there through my imagination. So you can travel even if you don't have the means, the abilities, or whatever. But I was thinking about this quotation that came from, we're going to say Ben, and I think that's his name, but he is the co-author of a children's book by Kristen Bell, the actor. And I remember her sharing this quotation, and I hope I don't jack it up. But I believe it said, learn as many names and stories about as many people as possible, because it will only make your world bigger and our world better. And that's the truth. Like once we learn about other people and how they live, You can see the interdependence of one another, the connectedness. When you expand your mind, your horizon, your experiences, it lets you see the world through a totally different lens. And so I guess I came on here to say, travel, whether it's physically, in a book, online, go somewhere, immerse yourself in that culture and expand your mind, because it will only make your world bigger and the world better. All righty. I love you. Take care.